Ignition sequence start.
Roger.
Hello, I'm Manus MacLean, and this is Brain Drain. It's Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. Today, we have three critical developments reshaping immigration policy. First, a proposed overhaul of the H-1B and green card systems to prioritize high wages and the introduction of a gold card for wealthy investors. Two, DHS is using $6.1 billion in fines as pressure to push migrants towards self-deportation. And three, DACA recipient was detained in the U.S. border despite having legal status, sparking outrage. I think some of you may have noticed I get a little bit tongue-tied at times, but it's all good. One of the things I wanted to review yesterday from the story about the Brazilian. Yes, President Trump has expressed his displeasure that the current Brazilian government is prosecuting former President Bolsonaro, I believe that's his name, of Brazil, and that may have led to some of his behaviors. You can check that out. I hope that correction makes sense now. Okay, let's dive in. Our first story comes from the reporting by the Economic Times of India. The Trump administration is preparing a major shift in immigration policy. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the current H-1B system is, in his words, a scam, and the government plans to replace the random lottery with a wage-based system that favors the highest paid and most skilled applicants. In addition, officials are proposing a new so-called gold card, a permanent residency pathway for wealthy investors. The Economic Times notes that this could reshape the green card landscape, especially for applicants from India, who are currently among the largest users of the H-1B program. Critics say it will privilege wealth over merit, while supporters argue it modernizes the system for the 21st century workforce. I think, as you know, we here also at Brain Drain, we do encourage those with degrees, extraordinary abilities, but we also work with those other visa categories that don't require college degrees or extraordinary abilities. Our next story. $6.1 billion in DH fines and self-deportation pressure. Our second story comes from the Wall Street Journal. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has begun collecting aggressively on $6.1 billion in fines levied against immigrants who have overstayed visas or ignored deportation orders. The journal reports that more than 21,000 individuals have been hit with daily penalties that can reach nearly $1,000 per day, with some fines topping $1.8 million. ICE is now pursuing collection through lawsuits, wage garnishment, tax refunds, and even credit bureau reporting. Advocates say the goal is psychological pressure to make life so financially unbearable that immigrants leave on their own. DHS, meanwhile, frames it as a deterrent against non-compliance. Yes, the price goes up and up and up. Our final story today is from The Guardian. In El Paso, Texas, a DACA recipient named Catalina Santiago was detained by Border Patrol despite having legal status. According to The Guardian's reporting, Santiago has had 7 successful renewals under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program and has no criminal record. Nevertheless, officials cited vague claims of trespassing and drug violations as justification for detention charges that they remain unproven. Charges that have remained unproven. Her case has triggered a national protest with advocates saying this undermines the legal protections of DACA was meant to provide. They warn it signals even compliant dreamers may not be safe from detention or removal under the current enforcement practices. I feel for this young lady and others that are in that position. Let's move on. What this means, these 3 reports from the Economic Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Guardian paint a picture of immigration policy shifting in 3 directions. Talent versus wealth. Visas now prioritize wages and investments over equity. Financial coercion. Fines used as pressure to force departures. Precarious protection. Even legal safeguards like DACA proving unreliable. It shows how economics, enforcement tactics, and politics are converging to redefine the immigrant experience in America. These stories matter because they're not just headlines. They affect families, students, and communities across the country. At Brain Drain, we bring you the facts with clarity, crediting reporting from the Economic Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Guardian. If you value this coverage, please subscribe and share. And if you believe in supporting immigrants through turbulent times, consider donating at braindrain.org/donate. I'm Manus MacLean. Thank you for watching. Stay informed. Stay empowered.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something new. If you did, don't just vanish into the algorithm. Hit like, subscribe, and follow us on social. It's the easiest way to support our work and make sure you never miss what's next. Want to stay in the loop without relying on big tech's mood swings? Sign up for our monthly newsletter. And if you've got the means, donations of any size keep our programs running strong. As a 501c3, your gift is tax deductible where the law allows. Together, we can turn Brain Drain into America's next big breakthrough.